community, also Union, Gina, and eventually this is going to be moving towards the city of Tuscaloosa. Daniel, this is like deja vu here. We're dealing with another tornado emergency for a storm that's in an identical place than the tornado emergency we had back on April 15th.
Really are. And also right behind that in Kemper County, Mississippi, they've just issued another tornado warning for a tornado or a thunderstorm right behind it that is capable of producing a tornado, and that's moving to the same area once this storm moves out.
So we're talking 2 tornadoes, and this tells a story right here with our storm relative velocity. There's 2 tornadoes back to back, a large wedge tornado moving into northern Sumter County, and another potential large wedge tornado developing back at East Mississippi. So Geiger, another large tornado possibly coming towards you, and Panola, also Gainesville community, Union, Tuscaloosa. That's where we're talking later down the road with these 2 potential storms. And again, a tornado emergency for this storm right here that's got its eyes set on the city of Tuscaloosa in about 1 hour from now. So we're talking about 5 o'clock. The tornado emergency or the tornadic part of the storm should be very close to the city of Tuscaloosa. We have 2 storms back to back, one producing a large wedge tornado over Panola and Geiger. The next storm of concern still in East Mississippi, about to hit Geiger and Gainesville. This should stay very close to Geiger and Panola community. Again, we have a tornado emergency with a large wedge tornado on the ground moving into northern Sumter County as we speak. WVUA's Daniel Sparkman monitoring things very closely with the chat room. Daniel, if we have any updates, if you'll please pass those along to us.
Yeah, Richard, we're starting to get some confirmed deaths over in Kemper County from the storms that have just moved through there. The sheriff over there in Kemper County is now confirming 3 people. So this is a very dangerous storm that has just moved into Sumter County.
All right, this is a critical, life-threatening situation. I cannot stress enough how deadly this situation is for northern Sumter County. Fatalities have been confirmed over in East Mississippi with this storm that's on top of Panola right now, just barely. I mean, as the crow flies, maybe a mile north of the city of Geiger, and there's another storm right on its heels. Daniel?
I was just going to say the other tornado warning for Tuscaloosa County. Well, there's a new tornado warning that includes Fayette, Pickens, Tuscaloosa, and Walker County until 5 o'clock. This is the one that's near Reform. They're tracking this large and extremely dangerous tornado, and it's moving northeast at 55 miles per hour.
All right, so we have 2 wedge tornadoes on the ground right now. One just past the city of Reform. That's moving into northwestern Tuscaloosa County along Highway 171. There's the Gorgas community. Samantha sits right there on 43. And this is a large wedge tornado just to the northeast of the city of Reform. And again, this is going to be moving in the northeastern parts of Tuscaloosa County very shortly. So again, we have 2 large wedge tornadoes on the ground as I speak in northern Sumter, one in northern Sumter County, one in northeast Pickens County. So the Lubbock community in very eastern Pickens County, be in your safe place. An emergency situation for this storm as well. We're talking from Reform to Lubbock, and in fact, this is something you don't see often. We're looking at a donut hole on our radar. This is where the tornado is located. Extremely strong indication of a wedge tornado being produced. In fact, there is a wedge tornado reported by storm spotters very close to the Lubbock community, just moving out of the Reform community. And this is about as tight of an indication as you can possibly get of a large, extremely dangerous tornado. Here's Highway 171 that runs down to the city of Tuscaloosa. This was going to stay well north of us in the city of Tuscaloosa, but still, if you're watching us in northwest Pickens County or northeast Pickens County, rather, northwest Tuscaloosa County and south and east Fayette County, this is a life-threatening situation for another wedge tornado that's moving towards the county line between Tuscaloosa, Pickens, and Fayette County. WVUA's Daniel Sparkman, again, watching things very close with the National Weather Service office, keeping a close eye on the chat room. And Daniel, do we have any more reports to pass along?
Right now, they're updating the Marion County tornado warning. Just no tornado confirmed with that one, but the storm is located about 5 miles northeast of Bryn and moving towards Haleyville to the northeast at 65 miles per hour. Looking at the National Weather Service over in Jackson, Mississippi, trying to see if there's any updates from them. They're watching a storm which is over in Oktibbeha County, Mississippi, which is just across from Lamar and Pickens counties, and there's a tornado warning over there for a storm that'll be moving into Alabama here shortly. It's moving pretty fast at 60 miles per hour as well, but luckily no more reports out of Kemper County or Sumter County right now.
All right, so we have one wedge tornado right here in northeast Pickens County. This is going to be crossing near the Lubbock community in extreme east Pickens County, and then it's going to be crossing along Highway 171 and then Highway 43. It's moving in this general fashion towards the north and east, and we're talking extremely tight couplet, one of the strongest couplets we've had so far today. Again, a confirmed wedge tornado on the ground in northeast Pickens County right now that just passed by the city of Reform, and so far no reports of whether this storm has done any damage in Reform. Daniel Sparkman is watching that very close, and Daniel, if we have any updates on that, please do let us know very quickly. But we're talking again emergency situation for parts of northeastern Pickens County, northwest Tuscaloosa County, south central parts of Fayette counties. We have a very deadly storm that can produce and is producing a wedge tornado as we speak. And again, that's northeast part of Pickens County, moving into northwest Tuscaloosa County, and south and east Fayette County. Now, we have a tornado emergency for the city of Tuscaloosa as well, and that is not for this storm. In fact, that's for the storm to the south, for actually a deadly storm that has produced fatalities in East Mississippi. Daniel was telling us the National Weather Service in Jackson saying 3 fatalities so far, and was that Kemper County, Mississippi?
Right, the sheriff in Kemper County confirming those.
Yeah, so the sheriff in Kemper County, Mississippi, right on the state line, saying 3 fatalities with a storm that's moving over Panola right now. And if you're watching us in Geiger, Panola, Ridge, Gina, Union, Gainesville, we want you all in a safe place right now. This will gradually move towards the city of Tuscaloosa, and we're talking 2 tornadoes back to back. A large wedge tornado over northern Sumter County that has just crossed Highway 17, moving into the Ridge community, then Union, then Gina, then Tuscaloosa. Again, if you're watching us, Tuscaloosa, Northport, go ahead and go through your severe weather safety plans now. We've got about 45 minutes to an hour before this tornado moves our way. Hopefully we'll see the same weekend, but we cannot guarantee that. The environment we're in today, very conducive of tornadic storms. Another tornado developing near Scuba, that's going to be moving into Geiger. Geiger very hard hit from a large tornado back on April 15th on that Friday that many of us will never forget. Another tornado is moving your way, and again, we have a tornado emergency in place, which means there's a large wedge tornado. There's storm spotters looking at it right now. It's a life-threatening situation for northern Sumter, northern Greene, and Tuscaloosa County. And again, we're seeing very tight indication of rotation. We're seeing that tight couplet where there is still the very large tornado on the ground. And again, WVUA's Daniel Sparkman watching this very, very close for updates from the National Weather Service in terms of what we're talking about happening back to our southwest. And that's southwest of the city of Tuscaloosa. We want to quickly go over to our tower camera, and this is what it looks like in Tuscaloosa on the University of Alabama campus. And right now, there's no way we're going to be able to see if there's a tornado here. There's a lot of rain in between us and the tornado itself. Daniel?
Yeah, just getting some updates from the National Weather Service over in Jackson, Mississippi about this Kemper County, what was going on there. They've confirmed the 3 fatalities, extensive damage, mobile homes damaged and destroyed, large numbers of trees down, which is preventing the emergency workers from getting into the area and really seeing what all is going on in the area. But again, the sheriff there in Kemper County is confirming 3 fatalities there.
All right, so we got 3 fatalities in Kemper County, Mississippi, right on the state line as that moved into Sumter County. There's 2 storms, and I mean, they are right back to back. These things are chasing each other, in other words, into Sumter County. One's an extreme northern Sumter County, extreme northern Greene County, but this next one, Daniel, looking a lot more impressive now, and that's the one that's about to hit Geiger head on. So if you're watching us in the city of Geiger, there's an emergency situation for you as a large tornado could be about to move right over the city now, and that's going to include the Panola community as well, which was likely hit by this last tornado, if not a very close miss. I know a lot of folks out here in northern Sumter County very nervous about this storm about to move into Geiger, simply because of the fact that about a week and a half ago, we had a large wedge tornado hit Geiger. And again, we're talking 2 tornadoes possibly, 1 tornado confirmed on the ground, moving right along parts of southern Pickens County, northern Greene County, northern Sumter, and then this storm up here is producing a tornado as well. over
Let's
the
go
love
back
of.
to that other storm. Sorry, Richard, I don't mean to interrupt you, but the National Weather Service just updated some about the tornado warning for Green Hill, Pickens, Sumter, and Tuscaloosa County. They're saying that their storm spotters are tracking a large and extremely dangerous tornado. This is an emergency for the first and second storm tracking out of Mississippi. This tornado located near New West Green, or 10 miles south of Aliceville, and moving to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. So the National Weather Service saying in their tornado warning that this is an emergency for both tornadoes that they are now saying are on the ground near 10 miles south of Aliceville.
All right, let me just explain one thing real quick to you, what a wedge tornado is. That's simply the base of the tornado at the ground is actually wider than from the ground to the base of the cloud. So we're talking a large tornado, likely a half a mile to 1 mile wide, an extremely dangerous tornado. Now, wedge tornado that large can do complete devastation. I mean, we're talking tornado scale, possibly up to EF4 or EF5, depending on the type of damage. We don't rate tornadoes by the size of them. We rate them by the amount of damage they create. We have two tornado emergencies, something that I've never personally heard of in my entire life, and I'm sure, Daniel, we haven't either. Two tornado emergencies for two storms that are back-to-back. Two large wedge tornadoes. We're talking extremely dangerous situation for northern Sumter County, southern Pickens, northern Greene, and west Tuscaloosa County. So again, we have two tornado emergencies back to back, which is simply unheard of. That just does not happen because we have two wedge tornadoes right next to each other. All right, the first large tornado has just passed to the northeast of the Panola community. The second wedge tornado is moving into Geiger and Panola right now. So again, these are the same hit areas. We're talking two devastating tornadoes, life-threatening tornadoes moving into Sumter County. I just can't stress how serious this storm is over northern Sumter County and northern Greene County. Daniel?
Richard, the National Weather Service just updated the tornado warning for Fayette, Pickens, Tuscaloosa, and Walker County. The Volunteer Fire Department has reported a tornado on the ground approaching the Brownville community in Pickens County. They are now saying this is a tornado emergency for New Lexington, Concord, and Moores Bridge. Places that the tornado is going to be near: Berry, 425, Bowley Springs, 430, Oakman, 440, Parrish, 445, Jasper and Cordova at 450. So it's moving off to the, this storm moving off to the northeast at 55 miles per hour.
All right, so we now have something that I doubt any of you out there has heard of, and that's three tornado emergencies. And let me tell you this right now, when the National Weather Service issues a tornado emergency, they only issue that when there's a large tornado confirmed on the ground that very second, and it can be fatal. It can be a very life-threatening situation. We're looking towards that storm. That is a new tornado emergency for the northern part of Tuscaloosa County from our Tuscaloosa Tower camera, and obviously it's going to be impossible to see. It's just simply too far away from the city of Tuscaloosa. So we're going to go back over to our Home Team Interactive radar. And again, a life-threatening situation for the northern part of Tuscaloosa County and also the central part of Tuscaloosa County. We have three tornado emergencies in place. And again, let me just stress this. They only issue those in the worst case scenario when that actually happens. And that's simply the case. We have two large tornadoes right here, one large tornado right here, very close to Tuscaloosa County. All of these large tornadoes will be tracking through Tuscaloosa County. A lot of folks say Tuscaloosa County seems like Tornado Alley. Well, today that looks like the case. We're talking several large and deadly tornadoes moving through our area. So the first tornado emergency, let's talk about this. In fact, we see what could be a debris ball on Home Team Interactive radar that's going to stay just to the north of Samantha. This is going to hit Gorgas head on. So if you're watching us in Gorgas along Highway 43, up to the Fayette County line, this large wedge tornado will be moving your way. And again, let me explain what a wedge tornado is. It's when the base of a tornado, what's at the ground, is wider than the ground to the base of the clouds. And if you look at a picture of a wedge tornado, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. This is typically a tornado that's about a half a mile to a mile wide, sometimes even larger than that. And in a case today, these storms can easily produce large tornadoes, and that's simply what's happening now. We're talking the potential for a tornado up to a half a mile, maybe even 1 mile wide, about to hit Gorgas head on. So again, if you're watching us in Gorgas, just to the north and west of the city of Samantha, be in your safe place right now. This is